Hello, this is Sean with BladeMate Lawn Care. Today I'm going to service my Masport President 6000. Here's the scope of the video. Feel free to jump ahead to anything which is relevant to you or enjoy the whole video. Now all these parts are bought at aftermarket and you can pick them up at your local mower shop, or of course they're available online. Quick safety point, ensure that you remove the spark plug lead. I'll show you why in a minute. So this is mine, Missy the Masport. She's one of my primary workhorses. As you can see at present, she's quite filthy. Recently I mowed when it was quite wet. That was about 2 days ago. So this service coincides with her needing a pretty good clean, which we'll get to shortly. There is more to a service than just an oil change and changing the filters and blades. It's a good opportunity to look your equipment over and give it a thorough clean, which is what I'm doing right here. As I said, recently I mowed in the wet and that caused a lot of debris and grass to get stuck, and that can affect the functionality and lifespan of your machine. And as you can see with my blades, some of them are cracked, chipped and very damaged. We will be changing them very shortly. So just regards to that safety point, as you can see, because I have my hands all around the deck and the blades and I'm bumping that cutting disc quite a bit, if I were to bump that crankshaft and turn it over, potentially causing the mower to start, well, I'm going to lose my hands. Taking the spark plug lead off mitigates that entirely. Additional to that, when you do tip your mower on its side, always tip it so that the carburetor is uppermost. This stops oil entering your carby and giving you issues. A little bit of housekeeping never hurts, because no one likes working with crap underneath your feet. Finally, just giving her a quick shower with the hose, just to get rid of any last crap and making sure I've got a nice clean workspace so I can commence the service. And then leave her out in the sun to soak up some rays and dry off a bit. Now, to replacing the blades, I like to actually take the whole cutting disc off, so it gives you an opportunity to clean underneath it and give it a good inspection as well. First thing you do is chock the disc. I'd use that piece of wood there. Remove the mounting nut and then just remove the mounting plate and the cutting disc itself. To remove the blades, just hold the bolt with the socket and undo the lock nut with the spanner, or a socket, or whatever you have which works. Then repeat this process 3 more times. Now, in the past I have had issues getting this off and I've had to actually hold it in a vise, so this may be the case for you. You can't always just hold it in your hands like you just saw me doing and pull it apart. With the blades removed, I gave the disc a quick clean and inspection and happy to go ahead. Side by side with the new ones, you can really see just how damaged the old blades are. Before fitting the new blades to the disc, familiarise yourself with the orientation of the blades. The convex part of the blade sits in the concave part of the disc. You can also do a function test, ensuring that the lip of the blade hugs the edge of the disc as opposed to sliding over the top of it. Within your new blades kit, there should be a new spring washer to go under each bolt. Ensure that you correctly align the bolt with a half moon shaped hole. Place the new flat washer through the bolt on the underside and then tighten the new lock nut. Now don't be tempted to use the old lock nuts, as they do lose their integrity once they've been undone. I mean, let's face it, you don't really want a blade to lodge in your big toe because you cut a corner at this step. So do the nuts up firmly. However, it's not essential that the blades don't move, as they are designed to swing around if they impact something whilst in use. This softens the impact and reduces the likelihood of significant damage to parts of the machine. Repeat this 3 more times and you'll get something that looks like this. When refitting the disc, identify the 2 lugs on the bottom of the mount which align with the holes on the disc. You'll also likely see an outline of where the mount meets the disc, so you've really got to be trying hard to put this thing on upside down. From here it's just a matter of refitting the mounting plate and tightening the mounting bolt back up. Now, I don't recommend using the ring end of a spanner like the knucklehead given the demonstration, as they do slip easier and you may round the bolt. Now I'm sure there are torque settings for this, however my own technical specifications say it's got to be 3 ugga-duggers. So that's nice and tight and we're good to go. Blades on. To remove the spark plug, use a spark plug tool if you have one. They usually come with anything you buy with a small engine, otherwise you can pick one up cheap from your local mower shop. Alternatively, you can undo the spark plug with a deep socket. The socket size varies depending on the brand of the plug. So you want to turn it anti-clockwise with the tool until it's loose enough to turn by hand. This one's in a tricky spot, that's why I'm using my hand, otherwise I'll be here all day if I use my tool. Old versus new, the old one's not in too bad shape, but I'm going to replace it anyway. Refitting the spark plug is the complete reversal of taking it out. It's pretty straightforward, everything just goes to the right this time. Now after you finish tightening it up with your tool, just give it a little wiggle with your hand just to make sure it is actually in place. And she's good. Refit the spark plug lead, pushing it firmly on the back once it's lined up, and your spark plug is changed. So replacing the air filter is probably the most challenging part of the service and does require the technical acumen of a Swiss watchmaker, so try and keep up. Okay, so undo the air filter cover locks, remove the air filter, have a look at it, yeah, that one's filthy. Clean the air filter housing. Make sure it's the correct part by holding it next to the old one. She's good. Put the big hole over the other big hole, put the cover back on and lock it. Congrats if you made it to this point. I worked up a real sweat there. To change the oil, it needs to be warm to flow easier, so I'll fire Missy up for a couple of minutes. After she's warm, remove the dipstick from the oil reservoir. Now it's just a matter of draining the oil with this big ass syringe thingy that I bought at Super Cheap Auto. I grabbed a plastic bottle out of my recycling bin to store the old oil. It's handy because it's sealable. Repeat this process until you can't get any more out. Hot tip, if you have some rags handy, they're useful as it can get a bit messy, and make sure you mop up any spills immediately. This engine takes between 600 and 700 mils of oil, and you can track that by looking on the side of the container. I buy this Honda oil from Bunnings, not because I think the oil is any better or worse than others, but simply because I like the nozzle on the end for ease of pouring. Insert the dipstick, pull it out, and check that the oil level is between the 2 arrows on the end. If necessary, add or drain oil until you have it right. And that's the service complete. Thanks for watching. Time to get to work.